Well, it's a Saturday morning using the Vortex method to stir my coffee with chopsticks, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. But first, before we get going, we need coffee. I ran out of coffee beans. So what I have now is I took Trader Joe's ground coffee, the stuff that's already ground, put it in the French press. 2 scoops, like bigger scoops. Put in my water. Not going to do bulletproof today. So let's just see what Trader Joe's coffee is like, made in a French press. I didn't grind it. It's just okay. Just okay. Just over the line of okay, of acceptable. Very little flavor. Just another reason why I can't stand buying coffee that's already ground. You just don't get the flavor pop. You never get that, the first sip that you take. Watching the Daybreak Show. For me, it's insanely, how can I put it? It's not orgasmic, but I always love my first sip of coffee in the morning. Love it. Just look forward to it. To the point where I close my eyes when I have my first sip because I don't want anything distracting me. So this is usually me in the morning like this. Like that. When you don't have a great coffee in the cup and you close your eyes, then you're just having visions of hell in your head and pain and sorrow. That's why you need good coffee. All I'm asking for is one good cup. One. I guess in a pinch, this will do. But I just want one good cup, man. Rather than a pot of mediocre sewer water, give me one good cup. I have a really full day at the salon today. And the sun is the sun's not coming up. You can just see a little bit of the sky back here. It's starting to lighten up a little bit. So we'll get started. Today's going to be there's a couple topics that I'm going to bring up that are going to be abrasive. So put on your seatbelts. I'm just warning you ahead of time. And then I'm going to read something from my blog for you. Can men and women be friends? Age-old question, right? You probably want to know my answer, don't you? Yes. Men and women can be friends after they had sex. Until then, there's always tension there. Always. Stop denying it. I'm up for debate on that one. Put your comments down below. Can they be friends? And if they can, once they've had sex, doesn't that just kind of calm things down? When losing weight and making yourself attractive fails, just post memes on Facebook. I'm going to read something to you. God has placed you where you're at this very moment for a reason. And remember that and trust that He's working everything out. was a meme that I read on Facebook. Here's the abrasive part. This is the kind of crap that has infiltrated a modern church and modern Christianity. And the first ones to cling to this are divorced women. Zero insight as to why they're single, and they're signaling their singleness and sorrow with memes and memeing themselves into old age. Hard pill to swallow, man, but it's so true. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let the hypergamy games begin. May the odds ever be in your favor. Divorced Christian women do this thing. God has me here for a reason. Sorry, honey. You put yourself in that state of undesirability and fail to see the correlation of your past actions and your current state of undesirability. God has nothing to do with it. You did it. God is just shaking his head going, oh, I tried so hard. People don't want to die because they don't want to miss anything. Anton Szandor LaVey, 1967. I told you it's going to be abrasive. Weekend warriors be like, is everything on Twitter funny tonight, or is it just the weed? Women are going to be so mad as soon as sex bots can make sandwiches. One thing I've observed about those that have lost a parent, now here's the serious part, is they always say this. I have both my parents, both my folks are still living. This is what everyone says. I miss being able to pick up the phone and call my dad or call my mom. And as a son, an adult son, who calls his parents on a daily basis, that's going to be a rough one, I think. Or, because it's going to happen. I'm not being negative or dark or, doom and all that stuff. It's either going to be a huge one for me, or I'm going to say, man, I'm really glad that I called them every day. Because I have a brother that doesn't call my parents on a regular basis. He might be the one that says, I wish I called them more. I talk to my parents every single day. Most days, I should say. Who lives in the greater metropolitan Philadelphia area? I am starting a meetup. If you do, let me know down below. We're going to start a meetup. I'll tell you when and where. We're not sitting around and talking like chicks. We're going to meet at a bar. There's going to be a band playing. And we're going to be dudes. And you're going to go out on a deck and smoke a pipe or smoke a cigar if you indulge in those things. And that's what we're going to do. But we're not going to sit around in a circle and talk. So if you're a dude and you are somewhat, if you have beliefs somewhat consistent with some of the things that I share, let's get together. I'd love to meet you. And let's read something from the blog. The so-called recession brings us back to the nuts and bolts of business again. We, as business people, must have a bias towards sales and marketing, period. Like I told my entrepreneur meetup group the other night, in the light of everything going on, the market drops, the seemingly unstable economy, the new administration, world instability, don't get too worried. Sales still have to be made, and those who can sell will survive. It is the business equivalent of being able to make fire in the wilderness without matches. You hear me? If you can sell, it's the business and survival equivalent of being in the wilderness and being able to make fire without having matches. Can you make a fire without having matches? Do you know how to do that? Can you make a sale in an economy that sucks? That's why you need sales skills. You could be skilled in your trade or whatever you're doing, but if you can't sell it, you're going to be broke. That's why I tell people, get your sales skills on and practice. Most people give up after the first 2 or 3 times they hear the word no. It's about hearing no 100 times and then getting one sale and pumping yourself back up like you're going to try all over again. Every time people hear no, they go down a notch, they go down a notch, they go down a notch. You have to do it. To live, you must sell. Again, one thing is not changing. Sales will all have to be made the same way that they've always done. They have to be presented. Excuse me, I just lost my place. There we go. Presentations have to be made. They have to be smart. You have to overcome objections. You have to persevere. You have to create trusting relationships. You have to nurture leads. And most importantly, they still have to be closed. There has to be a call to action. You never leave it in, you can't say, well, the ball is in their court. You control the frame, not them. None of this get back to me nonsense. The people who can't sell are the lonely single people. They can't close a sale with a woman when it comes to speaking to men. Control the frame. You have to lead people to a sales decision like Billy Graham leads people to Jesus. Or did lead people to Jesus. He would be in a stadium, Yankee Stadium. Thousands of people talking for 40 minutes. And then he would say, there you are, sitting in your seat. Something resonated within you. Jesus is calling you. You know you need something in your life. Up till now, you didn't know what it was. Now you know the answer is Jesus. So I'm going to tell you, if you feel strong enough about it and you feel that calling, get out of your seat and come forward and make a decision for Jesus. Don't think about what other people are thinking. Don't look around. Come forward. Receive the free gift of salvation from God through Jesus. And thousands of people would come forward. Thousands would come forward. And then he would pray for them and give them Bibles. And the Billy Graham thing, regardless of what you think, even you agnostics and atheists and Satanists and all that, the dude had a method. He had a method. I don't agree with the method, but he had a method. He built the case, presented, and then created a call to action. And people committed and followed through. Well, the follow through is after the decision. He presents the information, tells a story or two. Facts tell, stories sell. Remember that. Facts tell, stories sell. Gets people to relate, personalizes the message as a solution that people need. And then he had a thing called an altar call, where people make a decision for Christ, and then they come forward. There's a formula, and he stuck to it for over probably, 60 or 70 years? Now people like Franklin Graham and Greg Laurie and these other evangelist pastor types, they do this on a huge scale. Bottom line, it's closing a sale. Bottom line. It's a call to action. It's making people, not making people, it's presenting a decision and putting people in a yes or no scenario. That's it. Putting the ball in their court. And if they don't, you're not concerned about it. You're only concerned with the people who made the decision, yes, to come forward. For believers, it's a spiritual matter. The unseen comes into play just as much as the seen. So let's get back to media and culture. The media, because that's what I specialize in, is media and culture. Back to media. The media is the last group you should listen to for encouragement. You don't turn on the news for encouragement. You just don't. You already know that. So why the hell do you keep putting on the news? Whether it be in business or your spiritual walk, the news, the media, is not the place to turn. You know that. So I say have a personal moratorium on broadcast news of any type for a week and watch your stress level decrease. Your relationships will improve, and life generally just gets better, or at least the perception of it, which is just as powerful. Cancer can kill you, but doctors tell us that cancer can kill you faster if your opinion about it is that it will kill you. Let me repeat that. Cancer can kill you, but doctors now tell us that cancer can kill you faster if your opinion about that cancer is that it will kill you. Having hope is the one thing, along with common sense medical treatment and lifestyle changes. Hope is the one thing that can help you survive or live longer. Not everyone's going to survive cancer. That's a fact. Let's just take our head out of the clouds right now. Keep our feet firmly planted on the ground. Hope can help you survive or live a little bit longer if you have cancer. You have to decide to not let it take you when it dictates. And of course, there's a lot of sad exceptions, but I've known people who decided, I know people who went, they died because they decided it was time to stop fighting. And that might have been the right choice for them and their families. I know people who dared to say yes when cancer said no and lived many years beyond a doctor's estimate. Greek philosopher Epictetus said, "Men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about those things." Do you want to be the shoe salesman that went to Africa and came home because nobody wears shoes? Or the shoe salesperson who went to Africa and thought, wow, no one here wears shoes? Two salesmen. One saw no opportunity, one saw nothing but opportunity. If we change our opinions, maybe the outcome will change. So back to business. Disregard traditional media. You create your own culture, your own good news, your own encouragement. Don't let anyone or anything sway you. This is a great time to be a salesperson. Sales is a skill that all people must know. Pull out all your books and tapes, refresh that skill, purchase a sales course. I can recommend some if you want. The person who can sell is like the person who can build a fire in the wilderness without matches. They will prosper. The person who can teach people to sell is going to be even more prosperous. And that, my friends, is the end of today's show. Finish your coffee. Have a great day. I got to get ready for the salon. It's going to be a killer day today. I look forward to days like today. A nice Saturday. But I'm going to go back to that, the first tweet, can men and women be friends? I want you to think about that. And I said yes after they had sex. Can they be friends? It can be a functioning relationship. It might not be like deep friendship, but they can function better. Does that mean all men and women should have sex? By all means, no. Heck no. No. There has to be consent. There has to be a mutual thing going on. But just be aware of that. This whole thing where guys are friends with women, with deep down inside, thinking that they eventually want to have sex with them somehow, so they end up going out and footing the bill and doing things, and then just one night after dinner and a movie, he tries to kiss her, and she goes, no, it's not that way. We're just friends. Let's not ruin this. Dudes, never, ever friend your way into, try to friend your way into a relationship. It doesn't work that way. You think you're being a nice guy. As my friend Rollo Tomasi says, true desire can't be negotiated. You can't friend your way into sex. Can't do it. True desire is like that. It's like that. And you keep setting yourself up for letdown after letdown after letdown because you're not direct. And you think by being friends with women that you're going to eventually find something. You are going to find something, disappointment and discouragement, and feel that you're not attractive. Pursue excellence, not women. And you'll be fine. The women will come. It's like that field of dreams. Build it and they will come. Pursue excellence and you will attract excellence. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Finish your coffee. And don't cheap out when it comes to coffee. Don't cheap out. Don't easy out when it comes to coffee. There's no such anything cheap in the coffee world. Anything cheap, anything easy tastes like shit and you're going to be let down. It's better to have one good cup of coffee than a whole pot of mediocre junk. I'll see you tomorrow.